A pleasant morning to our esteemed guests, respected faculty members, audience, and to those listening globally via live stream. I welcome you all to the ANSYS SASTRA MoU signing ceremony, Advanced Space and Defense Center of Excellence. I also welcome our dignitaries. There's a beautiful saying that prayer is the key of the morning and the bolt to the evening. Before we unlock today's proceedings, let us invoke the spirit of harmony and higher purpose through a timeless prayer, a song that embodies peace, unity, compassion, and wisdom. Let us rise for the invocation song.
मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजयत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजयत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजयत्रीम् आत्मवदेव परानपि पश्यत आत्मवदेव परानपि पश्यत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत त्यजत परेष्वक्रममाक्रमणम् त्यजत परेष्वक्रममाक्रमणम् मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजयत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजयत्रीं जननी पृथिवी कामदुगास्ते जननी पृथिवी कामदुगास्ते जनको देवः सकलदयालु जनको देवः सकलदयालु दाम्यत दत्त दयत्वं जनता दाम्यत दत्त दयत्वं जनता श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानाम्.
To formally commence today's momentous occasion, it is our honor to invite a visionary leader and the driving force behind Shastra's continual rise, a person whose foresight, dedication, and commitment to academic and research excellence has shaped the very fabric of this institution. I now invite our respected Dean, Planning and Development, Dr. S. Swaminathan, sir, to deliver the welcome address and share his thoughts as we embark on this exciting new chapter.
Mr. Murli from ANSYS and other guests from ANSYS who are here today for this MOU signing ceremony. Special invitees from the space and defense sectors, both from private as well as from government agencies. My faculty colleagues, students, friends, a very good morning to all of you today for this MOU signing ceremony. In this academic year, as all of us know, just started on Monday. And fourth day of this academic year, we are signing the second MOU. So every alternate day this week, we have been signing MOUs. On Tuesday, we had a similar function where we had signed an MOU with Tata Technologies on training students on emerging technologies that would drive the indigenous development which is going to be the backbone of India's growth moving ahead. And today is another very momentous occasion that we are signing an MOU with the simulation greatest of the world, if I can use this phrase, ANSYS, whose simulation tools most of us in this auditorium would have used for various applications. Could be a student version, could be a research version, could be a commercial version. But what we get to know at the end of the simulation results is the valuable insights that we get out of using a tool as powerful as ANSYS, irrespective of the domain in which we have used. And this year, also being very special for Shastra, is the convergence of 40 years of an institution and also 25 years Silver Jubilee year of Shastra as a university. So we also look forward for game-changing interventions that could happen at the curricular level that will have profound impact on the learning that takes place within the campus, outside the campus, wherever where we engage with the student, and how a faculty can engage with the student for this transaction, the learning transaction to actually happen. And not just learning. When I say learning, it involves teaching, research, and all the associated parts of the, in academic ecosystem. So it becomes very, very important for us to look at what is happening around us, how the world is changing, and more specifically, how India is changing. And it's also important for us to recalibrate ourselves and often also reset ourselves to the changing needs of an aspiring student community, of a very challenging, that becoming a big challenge to the faculty to keep on, relearning new things, because students are much faster learners than teachers. We should have to admit that. And to keep pace with their learning track, it's also important for us to also embark on a lot of such initiatives as this MOU ceremony, which brings in a lot of aspects to the table for the benefit of the students, faculty, and for the immediate, stakeholders in the defense and the space sector. And it's also very important for us to relate it with the purpose of the MOU, the timing of the MOU, and the location of the MOU as well. So the purpose being, she said, the compere also mentioned in space and defense sector. And you've seen, the world has seen India's capability in defense, through the Operation Sindoor, and how much of the Indian startups have in fact, helped or contributed to the success of Operation Sindoor, and how the government is now looking at different engagement models with startups and private sectors. Hitherto before 5 years ago, it was defense and space was fully from the government sector, and there's been a lot of openings that has come up for the private sector to play a very, very active role in terms of engaging with various government organizations, government R&D labs to come up with products which are, which could be used. So when you say defense sector, it becomes critical because the accuracy is important, and there is no chance to lose or, to fail. The active testing actually takes place in the, in the war zone. Right? So it's very important for accuracy, where there is no factor for failure. So you'll have to be 100% accurate in the operation as well. And that's where our tools like ANSYS help in sort of predicting the, the outcomes of the systems or, the models that get built on various systems on board, and the devices that get onboarded on variety of these sectors. And of course, in space, all of you have seen how the Indian space program has also progressed the last, 2-3 years, starting from Chandrayaan, and we had, Shukla, Captain Shukla coming back, landing back in the Earth yesterday, and a lot of, exciting things are happening in these areas as well. So we've been engaging with ANSYS for a long time, and thanks to Mr. Murli's patience, that today we have arrived at a stage where we could clearly define what our aspirations are and how we could engage with the student community, with the faculty at Shastra to come up with, productive outcomes that would, rebrand Shastra itself as a different type of institution rather than just a teaching, learning institutions confined to academic transactions. So with that, sense of happiness within myself, I welcome all the dignitaries from ANSYS, all the people who have come up from our special invitees who have come up from various startups in the defense and aerospace sector for witnessing this MOU ceremony, and also this half-a-day program where we have some exciting talks and panel discussions on how these areas, these contours of engineering disciplines are disappearing, and how a lot of things are converging towards skill-based applications. How knowledge can be translated into skill rather than just a 3-hour examination kind of an aspect. So with that, I welcome all of you to this MOU signing ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words. Every great collaboration begins with a shared vision, a vision that bridges innovation and impact, academia and industry. One such visionary who has been at the forefront of this partnership from the very beginning is Mr. Murali Pulela, Regional Sales Director at ANSYS. His constant engagement, strategic support, and belief in the power of academic collaboration have played a pivotal role in shaping this center of excellence. To speak about the vision behind this collaboration and the roadmap ahead, I now have the honor of inviting Mr. Murali Pulela to address the gathering.
Only the HTML or both? Just move it. Good morning. Just give me a couple of minutes. I hope you can all hear me. Perfect. Good morning to all of you. My name is Murli, as introduced. Very encouraging to see so many women technology people in. Really surprised. I was expecting about maybe 4 or 5. Half of the hall is filled with them. Thank you so much for attending. I'm a sales guy, so I was supposed to give an ANSYS sales speech, but Dr. Swaminathan sir, one of the best sales speech I've heard about ANSYS was done by him. So thank you so much. I don't have to repeat it, so I don't want to spoil the stage that you set. The task that was given was actually very boring. They said you explain this to students the vision, why we are doing this, MOU. I said, doesn't interest me as a sales guy, but then I'll do my best. I was thinking how to present this, and in the morning, I got up early with anxiety because we invited a lot of delegates, industrial leaders, and I was worried how will we coordinate all the people that were landing at different times, different hotels. And I got up early to coordinate. I went to have tea, and one of the students, I can see him here, he walks up to me and he says, comes and handshakes and says, thank you so much. I don't even know him. He says, thank you so much for coming and doing this. This is the need of the hour. I'm really excited. I want to do, and he explained about his subject. And I really felt that actually I think we're doing something great here. A student in the morning, he comes and says that this is what we MTech students would dream. So I'm now more confident to give my speech now, because I think the stage is set. So I'll start with, and then one more interesting fact is I've given presentations, maybe 2 to 3 presentations per week to industrialists and maybe industry teams. First time I'm actually talking to students, so excuse me for all the errors. although I wanted to become a teacher, I also spoke to Dr. Swaminathan that I want to come and teach. But then I realized that the youngsters are more knowledgeable than me, so I dropped that idea. So once again, good morning. We have this advanced space and defense technologies, and my purpose is to actually talk about the potential, the vision, and most importantly, your role for the future of India. And with this, Dr. Swaminathan sir, thank you so much. I also want to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, Dr. Vaidya Subramanian sir, Registrar Professor Chandramouli sir, Dean of Mechanical, Dean of Aerospace, Dean of Chemical Engineering, and lastly the team led by Dr. Nagaraj Pillai. I really troubled them day and night. I think I've also disturbed the sleep schedule. And also Dr. Shankar Sriram, who has been also very encouraging to me to make this happen, also arrange compute infrastructure. That is one of the best I've seen in many of the academic institutes. So we have this MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, and like Sir said, the best simulation tools in the world. But what does it mean for you? Because for you, it doesn't matter. I mean, Ansys can be a great company, but what is it for you? So my job is to explain. So what started as an initial discussion with the Dr. Swaminathan sir is, let's do a MOU, let's do a Center of Excellence. And what we are looking at is, let students get trained and take a certificate of Ansys, go to industry and find a job. That was the start of the idea. But multiple rounds of discussion and then exploring what we need to do. And suddenly I got some bright ideas from the industry that I was working. Industry encouraged me a lot, saying that this is the need of the hour, but don't go for certification. Go for actual upskilling of the students. And when I say upskilling, it is not about getting trained on the tool. The tool is irrelevant. It is about the technology and domain that you people will be working. So I will explain what we are talking about in next 15 minutes. I've been given only 20 minutes. I'll try to do that job. But I also want to thank the delegates, industry leaders who have come for this. And let me tell you, students, they've come from Pune, Bombay, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad. They've got up early morning at 3 a.m., some of them, traveled all the way, taking out, this is a personal investment of their time. They are not bound by any their company rule. They're investing one day, they come all the way. I would encourage you to talk to them, take guidance. I'm sure they'll be very inspirational to all of you. So with this, I want to welcome Dr. Mudla ma'am from National Aeronautical Limited. And Dr. A.R. Srinivas, who also is one of the force behind me to do this at SASTRA. He's Associate Director at ISRO entity. He wanted to come but couldn't make it, but he'll be joining us online. Mr. Anand, one of my friend, Executive Vice President of Taking Me to Space. Mr. Mukund Dakshinamurthy, co-founder of ePlane, very interesting startup company. Nikhil, co-founder of Orbit 8. Thanks, sir. And we have Keyur, lawyer by profession, but into technology, and he tells me that he started using Ansys. That's good to know. So we have one more segment of lawyers whom we can actually target. And Mr. Abhijit, co-founder of Sirinor, who has traveled all the way from Pune. Thank you, each one of you. A warm welcome to all of them. They are really investing their time. I'm sure they are investing this time based on the name of the university. Now, I also came to know last week that this university is doing much better than other well-known universities in terms of the cutoff percentage. Congratulations to the management team, sir. So why do we need it? So I will take you through some of the things, but most importantly, there are 5 reasons, although I've covered these 5 reasons, but very important is my first interaction with Dr. Swaminathan sir, where I heard a few things. He speaks less with me. I don't know how is he when he's doing, but he speaks very less monosyllabus with me. But he explained me what he wants to do, why he wants this COE. And then I went to the website. I don't know how many of you have had a chance to visit your website and read your vision statement of 2025, 2035. Very impressive. And that's one of the reasons why I decided that I will invest my personal time. Let me tell you, Ansys, this is not part of my job, but I'm doing it for the community. And I'll explain why we're doing this. And he explained me what he wants to do, and that was where so this is reason number one is the vision, the faculty. When I first visited SASTRA, I was taken around the campus, and very impressive campus. But more than that, every department I went, every room I went where they introduced me, the passion of those professors and assistant professors was really impressive. And that's one of the reasons why ANSYS team, we have a group of almost 8 to 9 people who have traveled again from various places to help you achieve this particular MOU. Second thing is also, reason is the government. The government is betting big on this because this is need of the hour. As important as maybe a financial company or an Amazon or a Flipkart, this is more important for us. And if you see, there are few things. Look at the amount of investment, 13,000 crores only for Department of Space. Never heard about this kind of. We heard Department of Space started with a budget of some 200 crores. Now look at what. Now we are also talking about private-public partnership in the most important fighter program. In space, which is interested to encourage startups, is investing about 500 crores. If you look at the union budget, so much of increase in the budget for aerospace, space and defense. We have even states fighting with each other to attract talent, attract industry, because they also know that this is the most thriving economy from the industry perspective for the future. We have some DRDO, then we have even Andhra Pradesh getting into this, spending about 20,000 crores. As we speak today, Prime Minister Modi is attending a Chintan Shibir in Vizag to inaugurate one of the space. The whole ISRO leadership is there. In fact, we were expecting them to be part of this, but because of this, they could not attend. Amount of investment. So basically what I'm actually trying to tell you is this is the space that is the most attractive from engineering students for you as a contributor to the technology and industry. The third is again a very important factor which is going to be a key player in this and also to make this particular MOU execute successfully is the industry. Being led by DRDO, CSR labs, ISRO, and very vibrant startup ecosystems. Look at the figures. There are about 250 space startups. That's huge. And all of them have a space to survive. Why? Right? 8.4 billion economy of Indian space by 2033, it is expected to go to 44 billion. Imagine the amount of opportunity that industry is offering us. And this is where we see the need. And this is where me and Dr. Swaminathan sir decided in my last meeting about 2 weeks back that this is the area that we're going to work. We evaluated other technologies, EV, electrification and others, but we finally decided to be this. And the last two reasons, and this is very important from my perspective, is ANSYS is a leader in this domain. So why not, me being an Indian, why not I bring that expertise, that domain knowledge to India and do something for the industry. When I say industry, industry includes the academia, the students, the industry, private, public sector, and for ANSYS and also the India as a country. So we are world leader in these domains. I'll not go much deeper, but what we're going to do through this MOU is bring all this domain expertise that we have, working with best in the industry like Lockheed Martin, like NASA, SpaceX. They're all on ANSYS. So we learned a lot as ANSYS team. We want to contribute to this particular cause using that. And last reason is, ANSYS always focuses on academics. I won't go through the statistics, but look at the number of universities, number of engagements, number of students that we help by our licenses, by our grants, by our CSR. And I'm very happy that this MOU that we're doing with SASTRA, although there's a milestone of 25 years and all that Dr. Swaminathan sir has mentioned, for us what is important is, this is the first time my headquarters from US is doing something on this domain anywhere in the world. This is the first. Thank you. So this is the first center of excellence on space and defense applications. And that is being in India. And the amount of software that we are giving, and this is something that never heard of in ANSYS. More than $1.2 million worth of software will be in SASTRA at your disposal, right? And this MOU will be for 1 year. And whether we're going to continue this MOU or not is dependent on your contribution, your involvement, your making it success, and industry support, obviously, I look forward. So these are the reasons why we, sorry. So this, last segment of my presentation, and this is something that may be interesting. And so this is the battlefield now, battlefield of the future. No more tanks and guns. And what is interesting about this slide is, now tell me, is this a domain of space? Yes. Is this a domain of land-based systems? Yes. Is it a domain of defense systems? Yes. Is it a domain of aerospace? Yes. So we're not talking about space startups. We're not talking about drones. We're not talking about only fighter aircrafts. We're not talking about land-based systems, radar systems. It's now so complex. I don't know. And when my team gave me this slide and said, explain this, I said, my goodness, I can't explain this. So I was thinking the way I should actually present this to you. And while thinking, thankfully my son came on with a good idea saying that today's generation is the PUBG and the Call of Duty. I think all of you are experts in that. So I said, do something on the gaming. So what I discussed with my team, and my team came out with a very interesting concept, which actually is a real concept, is wargaming. So what is wargaming? So this is a scenario where our Indian Defense Forces, now it was tri-services, now it's become quad services with Coast Guards. All of them have to work in a unison, and everything happens only because of the communication and coordination. And every scenario, like Sir talked about Sindoor, why we have responded the way we have responded is because we were ready. We practiced it over the years. Someday it's going to happen. And this is wargaming is that what they do, our Indian forces. So there are many technologies or methods of wargaming. Here one of the thing is UDA. So UDA strategy is you observe, you orient, you decide and act. And this is what they do. So in the war game, one of the experts just puts a condition that enemy is doing this and how will you react? And teams from different defense forces, they plan the strategy of doing it. And so here, they do all the risk analysis and rule-based engagement and other stuff. So for today's presentation, I'll just cover, I have a few more. I'll just cover only the first two, observe and orient. So in this, for this use case, we have two teams, the red team, and red team is our enemy team that's going to launch the missile, and the blue team, I hope you know, it's us, right? So a blue team is going to react. So these two teams are going to see, and how, I don't know whether you understand. So I'm going to present ANSYS technology with this game. So you understand that how ANSYS is going to actually help, right? So this is a war game scenario console. And in this, let's say the instructor sets up a strategy of the enemy and he puts in a scenario and he expects the team to see how they're going to react. So let me play the video. So this is used, one of the products of ANSYS, where you see, let me pause. So you read the console, this is the red base, that is enemy zone. This is the missile view. This is the satellite sensor data. This is the 2D view. So this is just the console, and these are the assets that are at disposal of the red team and the blue team, right? Sorry. It's no voiceover. So here moderator sets up the scenario parameters. The red team, that's the enemy team. Again, it's a war game, so the red team would also be our team. They decide to do something. Maybe move the ground assets. So the ground assets in the enemy territory are moving. When they move, our satellite actually picks up this data. And as blue team is regularly monitoring the space, they detect that there's abnormal activity happening. So suspicious movement is detected by the LEO satellite, that is when it passes over that particular zone or area. And now they are supposed to respond, observe, respond. So, right, so they deploy the electro-optical IR sensor on the geo satellite. to monitor the red team because the LEO satellite would have passed over the region by that time. And then a missile is launched by the red team. And the data is picked up by the satellite. And once it enters the blue team's zone, or let's say region India, after a point of time from the UIR satellite, the ground radar systems take over. This has to be very well coordinated. Precisely, like any mistake, we may have a mishap. So all this is done using ANSYS tool. And even the wargaming, not only the designing, but even wargaming can be done, right? So I'll stop here and we'll look at the assets, and this is the last part of my, so we have assets in action. What are the assets? Here, the blue team has deployed space assets by observation and tracking. Airborne assets like drones, aircrafts, AWACS, fighter jets, and then we have ground-based assets like radar. And this is where I want to actually end the presentation. So when you look at a satellite, these are some of the technologies of ANSYS that will be useful. And many of the startup teams or companies that are sitting here use some of these technologies already. So the blue team, the other asset is optical satellite, and these are the technologies on the right-hand side. When you look at maybe a Heron drone or a UAV of UB flag tomorrow, maybe in this. So these are the various domains, right? From landing, aerodynamics, thermal, PCB, thermal, communication, RF sensors, everything, and for the ground-based radars. So what I'm actually presenting is these are the technologies that, if you wish, you can work, and all these technologies are being provided to SASTRA. Every technology that I'm mentioning will be here. So try to take the maximum advantage of, I'm just covering some of the assets because it will be very difficult for me to go through all of these, but this is missiles. And the most important part, the satellite, the eyes in the sky. And these are the technologies that you see that will be useful. And our team will be helping to mentor, train the trainees so that you can work under them and work for the industry for actual real-time projects. To summarize, these are the various, so here I have listed some of the DRDOs, some of the systems, that what each one of them does, and all these DRDOs use ANSYS tools and technologies. I have not covered any private industry here. So with this, I would like to end, but it's not about signing a MOU. I think we have done the most easiest part of the MOU. And the execution is going to be very, very important. Otherwise, this MOU will be on paper. So we have a partner, global partner, CADFEM, who is going to partner us to help you complete the projects that the industry dignitaries, leaders who have come, some of them may get impressed by one of your ideas and may offload some project to you. CADFEM team will help you execute it, train you guys, and help your professors, deans, also have expertise in-house in SASTRA. So CADFEM is represented by Santosh. Thanks for coming. And we have to make this successful. With this, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. And hopefully we'll see a big success maybe within a year's time so that we can roll it out to future years. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. We now arrive at the most significant moment of today's event, the formal signing and exchange of the Memorandum of Understanding between Shastra deemed University and ANSYS. This MOU marks not just the beginning of a partnership, but the launch of a shared mission to build the Shastra ANSYS Advanced Space and Defense Center of Excellence, a center that will serve as a hub for cutting edge research, transformative innovation, and national impact in the space and defense sectors. To formalize this vision and set the stage for this exciting journey ahead, we now invite the dignitaries from Shastra and Ansys to come forward for the signing and ceremonial exchange of the MOU. Let us witness this moment with pride and applause as academia and industry join hands for a future driven by knowledge, technology, and purpose. Thank you very much to all the dignitaries on stage for gracing this momentous occasion. We will now break for a short tea refreshment. Let us kindly reassemble by 11:30 a.m. to continue with the next part of the program. Dr. A.R. Srinivas, Associate Director, ISRO, Laboratory for Electro-Optic Systems. I also request all the students in the auditorium to remain seated until the dignitaries return.
respected faculties and student friends. So the tea for all of you is arranged in the second floor here, same building, second floor, room number 303. Please come back by 11:25. All students are requested to assemble by 11:25 or so, because next is the panel discussion from the 6 to 7 industry space startups. The leaders will be talking and giving the panel discussion, and attendance will be taken at 1 p.m. Okay.
Um, I would like to invite the moderator, and I would like to introduce the moderator, Samira Damle, is a regional sales manager, new and emerging technologies. He is responsible for business development of new and emerging technologies portfolio, such as digital engineering, mission engineering, MBSE, model-based software development, safety, SPDM, AI, ML, and optics. Develop and deploy solutions for complex customer problems, working across the disciplines of aerospace, defense, automotive, and high-tech industries. About 20 years of experience in the industry, started the career as a software engineer for engine management systems and infotainment systems, worked in different functions like application engineering, technical sales, business development, and product management in India, Southeast Asia, Australia, and New Zealand regions. With his strong techno-commercial experience, Samira has been driving business growth through building industry collaboration and innovative solution positioning. Now the dais is yours for moderation. Mr. Samira, please.
Thank you. I think we have we had a fantastic presentation by Dr. A.R. Srinivas on the opportunities in space, and we will space and defense, and we will further dwell into this topic through this panel discussion, where we have some of the industry experts who have come here, and we will take this opportunity to interact with these industry experts who have come from different companies, who are working on different, let's say, who are solving different problems in the space and defense industry. Also, we have a scientist from one of the government labs. So without further delay, let me start introducing the panelists, and I would also invite them on the dais. First and foremost, we have Dr. Murudula Ji, who is a senior principal scientist at NAL. Dr. Murudula is an So Dr. Murudula is in atmospheric science. He has a PhD in atmospheric sciences in the area of radar meteorology, is currently working as a senior principal scientist in Center for Electromagnetics at CSIR NAL. This is the lab, most of you might be aware, this is the lab where the Indian, indigenous aircraft is being designed and developed. She has been working, before working with CSIR NAL, she was also working at ISRO. She has several credits to her, in terms of development, testing, and certification of indigenous lightning protection systems, interaction of convective organization and monsoon prediction, atmosphere, surface, and sea. She has been involved in the development of Doppler weather radar. She has published more than 200 publications, which include books, journals, conference papers, and several research documents. So I think her introduction is pretty long. I cannot read out everything. I think you have a lot more, which we will explore during the discussion in the panel. Ma'am, welcome to the stage. Then we have Mr. Anand Rajagopalan, who is the Executive Vice President at Take Me to Space. Take Me to Space is a company that is building on-orbit compute infrastructure, and I think it is one of the first of its kind in this industry. So he has over 17 years of experience and has built institutions, teams, and raised fundings from corporate as well as government. He was the founding member of and CEO of T-Works. Before joining Take Me to Space, he was at T-Works, India's largest prototyping center, a government of Telangana initiative. He built the large organization at T-Works, 200 plus people team, and also raised funding from government as well as private industry, over 90 crore worth of funding from private industry. At Take Me to Space, he builds satellites, and the Take Me to Space builds satellites and software stacks designed for high performance computing, and they're basically putting compute in the space. So we will learn more about what they're doing in the interaction. Anand, welcome to the stage. Our next speaker comes from a very interesting background. He's a lawyer by education and working in the space industry, and he says he's also working on engineering simulation tools now. Keyur handles space regulation, legal and policy and commercialization at Dhruva Space. He has worked on several firsts in space regulatory activities, beginning with his involvement in one of the first ever authorization from InSpace. He's also spearheading navigation of legal and policy aspects governing the launch of India's first commercial satellite as a service mission and ground station as a service offering. Keyur also leads ITU filings and spectrum coordination in India and across the globe from Dhruva Space. He has been named as Legal 30 Under 30 award. He has been awarded with Legal 30 Under 30 in December 2023. He's like I mentioned, he's a law graduate from NMIMS Mumbai and has worked as a student director to foster an entrepreneurial ecosystem in his college, and that's how he entered into entrepreneurial journeys, is what he told. So we will learn about his entrepreneurial journey in today's interaction. Keyur, welcome to the panel. We have Mukundan, who is the co-founder at ePlane Co. Most of you might have heard about ePlane, which is one of the India's startup that is working on electrical propulsion-driven urban aerial mobility program. At ePlane, his technical responsibility is to ensure the aerodynamics design of ePlane aircrafts and making sure that those aircrafts are compact and at the same time more efficient in terms of performance. He has an overall knowledge on electric aircraft design. Additionally, he has overseen the life cycle management of ePlane's flagship product E200X. He is also responsible for setting up ePlane's infrastructure in terms of software and computing hardware requirement. He has continued to grow from strength to strength and is an integral team member of the ePlane company. In fact, before joining ePlane, he has worked in several government as well as private aircraft programs, including prestigious aircraft programs from Airbus. Mukundan, looking forward for discussing with you. Please join us on the stage. We have Nikhil Balasubramanian, co-founder and COO at OrbitAid. Nikhil holds a PhD in combustion from Technical University of Munich and Masters in Aerospace Engineering from Technion, Israel. He earned his BTech in Mechanical Engineering from CIT Coimbatore. With over 8 years of experience in research and engineering, he has worked at IFTA, GmbH, and Indian Institute of Science. The company that he founded, OrbitAid Aerospace, is an innovative space technology company focused on developing and commercializing advanced solutions for space exploration and satellite services. Their mission centers on creating scalable, cost-effective technology for satellite life extension through proximity operation in orbit servicing. Nikhil, welcome to the stage. Next, we have Abhijit Inamdar, co-founder and CEO of Sirinor. Abhijit co-founded and he's the India CEO of Sirinor, which is a Norwegian Indian aerospace startup developing the world's first scalable electric jet engine. With 20 years of global experience across energy, aviation, deep tech, he combines deep technical expertise with sharp commercial acumen to advance sustainable aviation. At Sirinor, he drives strategy, team building, fundraising, and global partnership, leading the company's mission to deliver zero-emission, power-agnostic jet engine for UAVs, seaplanes, and regional aircrafts. He's focused on aligning breakthrough propulsion technologies with the fast evolving need of sustainable aviation. Previously, Abhijit was an investment manager at Equinor, Norway's energy major, where he led strategic bets on emission monitoring, AI, hydrogen, and mobility. As you can see, he was also named as 40 under 40 investors in North America in the year 2019. Abhijit, welcome to the stage. Then we have Murli. Murli was introduced earlier. Murli leads the go-to-market strategy at ANSYS India. Is as a part of ANSYS leadership team, he drives the sales engagement models, driving impactful, result-driven, success for ANSYS. As a business leader, Murli is very well known and well connected in the industry. He is known to successfully build high-performance sales teams, implement effective change management practices to navigate complex transformations. And one such, innovative initiatives from Murli we have seen today through this MOU. Murli, welcome to the stage. Then I would like to invite Professor Swaminathan from SASTRA. I think he doesn't need an introduction, but let me take this opportunity to introduce him. I think it's important for the panel also to know him. Professor Swaminathan has over 3 decades of experience in tissue engineering. He's the director of the Center of Nanotechnology and Advanced Biomaterials and Dean of Planning and Development at SASTRA deemed University. He has a PhD from Drexel University and postdoctoral experience in orthopedic surgery research at University of Virginia. He leads a prolific research group in tissue engineering and additive manufacturing lab. He has over 240 publications, and something important to highlight is he's listed among the world's top 2% scientists by Stanford University. Sir, welcome to the stage. Well, with that, let's get into the discussion. I think it's a very, can you hear me all? Is okay? Yeah. Good. I think we have a very interesting panel. I have moderated panels
but this, I think this is going to be a sort of challenge for me. So I've moderated several panels in the past. We have people from industry, we have academicians, we have research, scientists. So my task is going to be challenging. What I will try to do is to keep this engaging, and also let us see if we can keep some time for questions towards the end. Right. So what would be interesting, like if I go back to my student days, and when I sat where you guys are sitting today, right? Listening to, seeing an event like this, or listening to speakers from outside industry, typically what runs in the mind when they are presenting is, where did they come from? What was their journey? Where did it all start, right? So I want to ask that question to each of these panelists, because I believe that would be interesting for all of you students out there to understand, how each one of their journey started. So I would actually like to start with Mrudula ma'am. I think you are the only woman in this, panel, and a woman scientist. I'm sure you will inspire a lot of young, women engineers here in this audience, with giving a little bit of background about your journey. How did you, get into research? What motivated you to, get into research? So can you give a little bit of brief?
Thank you. So I think it's lunchtime. All are waiting for lunch. Maybe you may be thinking like it was my wish from childhood to become a researcher or scientist. No, it was not like that. I come from a village in Kerala, in Palakkad. So that time it was like there were no transport and all. So it was like we have to wait for somebody to come to get bangles, the glass bangles. So my first wish was to become a bangle seller. That was my first dream. Okay, so that is like, because with that one I will be getting more and more bangles. So after that, like in childhood, after that, all of us might have at least once wished to become a teacher. That was my second dream actually. My mother is a teacher, so I used to go with her to her school. So I have seen her getting all the respect. The students used to bring and give her roses, chocolates, like that. So I was thinking, oh, we will get lot of respect if you become teacher. Now also it is there. Still I am teaching also for the PhD students. So I do teaching as part of ACSIR. But that was the second dream. But as I go forward, like in my 10th standard or 12th, I picked up, I felt like I have a inclination towards problem solving. So I used to solve mathematical equations, and I was having a deep insight to how to solve something. So I did my BSc in physics. So that time I was more towards solving physics problems. Maybe many of you might have seen like the PDEs, ODEs and all, partial differential, ordinary differential equation. And so that numerical solving skills I developed. So after MSc, I joined Cochin University of Science and Technology. There I had options to meet many of scientists from ISRO, DRDO, and even from abroad also. Cochin University, like SASTRA, has many schemes in which people from abroad or others agencies comes there and gives talks and all. So when talking to such people, I understood that, okay, some of them these skills are needed in this space or aerospace domain and all. So that was my first step to think that, okay, I can go ahead with research. So most of the people were after BSc. If you see, many people will do MSc and do a B.Ed, and almost I think 90% of my classmates are teachers now in the higher secondary or something. I me and one more classmate, we both are in a different domain. One is in banking domain. So it is like previously in that time, because I did completed my PhD in 2005. I think many of you might not have born by that time itself. Okay, so I completed that time. So it was like that time it was a step which many people will not take. Being a lady, in addition, because that time all were looking after MSc, you should get married, all those things will be there. But somehow I could convince my parents, and my mother being teacher and father was an army man, so they also supported me. So I went to ISRO for a brief year of, means almost like a 1.5 year. I worked in BSSC, and that time I worked in a project which was the first of its kind to retrieve the temperature profile from ground to 80 kilometer, which will be useful for all the rocket launches. So that made me more efficient in the computing technologies also. So with that background, and by the time I qualified the CSIR JRF, so I registered for PhD and worked in MST radar, National MST radar facility. Now it is called as NARL. So I registered, and my experiments were conducted in Tirupati. So that was, maybe I can explain about it later, because there were a lot of challenges being doing the experiments in night and all. So I was the only lady. We had to do many things. They have to arrange many things for me to do the experiments and all. But still, I'm very happy to tell, like, after those things, ISRO's, this one still uses my algorithm for some of the development. So whenever there is a launching, they use the data from NARL to understand the wind profile. So that was something. So even if you have some aim, you can achieve it. So that is what I would like to tell. And after that, anyway, after my PhD, I just joined ISRO in the radar development group. And within a year, I shifted to NAL. So in NAL, I was in the computational division, like flow solver. I was working in flow solver. Later moved to Center for Electromagnetics, but still I work on partially on the flow solver group kind of thing. But presently I am working in the lightning protection for the aircraft, both radome and the full aircraft, because it is very challenging, because we have to work with the certification agencies. So if you want to know more, you can surely contact me later. Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for that very interesting journey. You know, when we are students, right? The dreams that are or the thoughts that are put in our minds are like, you know, study well, you know, get good scores in 12th, then get into good college, then get a good job and settle in life, right? While you have people in this panel who have taken different paths, people who have taken the path of entrepreneurship, which is typically a very risky path to take. In fact, one of the famous entrepreneur and investor, Kevin O'Leary, says that salary is the drug given to forget your dreams. And I want to ask you, Mukundan, I think you were in a good, multinational company, doing pretty well, and you decided to quit that and get into this, journey of entrepreneurship. Can you, share where this thought came and how did you?
Sure. Yeah, first of all, good afternoon for everyone. So actually, you correctly pointed out, in my journey, I think I have taken a hard decision, I think multiple times. So actually, I'm basically from Tanjavur. So I studied my schooling in Tanjavur only. Thank you. So I studied here, St. Anthony School, higher studies, till 12th. during my 10th itself, I decided to go for aero industry. That is because of, I think everyone knows, maybe still you are also impressed by Abdul Kalam sir. So that same thing, it impressed me. So I thought of during 10th itself, I want to go for some aero industry. So I put my effort. Actually, my family background in the education wise, they are uneducated. So I don't know how I studied well. Still, I am exploring myself. So I was in 10th school first and third state third. Then my journey continued in the education side. So I thought of going for aero industry. So during that time, we are not using the internet during that time much. So after joining the college only, I touched first my computer. So I don't have experience about internet, other things. So my school teacher said, okay, you are taking good score, focus for government colleges. That's the only mind I have. But I don't know what college has the aeronautical engineering in Tamil Nadu. Just I went for counseling. I asked, I want to take aeronautical engineering. Then somehow I got MIT, but still after got also I don't know about MIT. After going and joining only, I came to know that this is Abdul Kalam State College. So that impressed me a lot. Then I struggled there because I studied in Tamil medium and I went to college. I struggled a lot, but I put lot of effort and I came out from the MIT. So I joined in one of the DRDO lab as a junior research fellow. I put almost a lot of effort to learn from there because since I came from academic, that is the first experience to face the industry. So I put lot of effort. What that first turn from that UG only happened. I got selected in campus interview in third year itself, Wipro. So they offered good salary, but I took the decision to not to join that software side because my passion is aero industry. So I went for cabs as a contract employee initially. What I initially got the salary per month, I think nearly 8 times lesser than what offered Wipro. So that is the hard decision I took. So after I carried my journey there, then I went for Axis Cadres. So again in the Axis Cadres, till now I don't have that idea of going for higher studies. So when I went to Axis Cadres, I involved in the again ADE project, Rustam Unmanned Aerial project. I daily go to the IAC for some testing, internal testing. So that environment changed me to go for higher studies. So I prepared GATE exam. So I got some good score. At the same time, I got the offer from CADAS to travel to Canada for 3 years. So there also I took the hard decision not to go for Canada. I have to go for higher studies. So I went for my higher studies, IIT Kanpur. I have done my master's in aerodynamics. I specialized in aerodynamics. Then I came back to Bangalore after my degree. Then I joined in Altron and debuted in Airbus. I worked in Airbus more than 5 years. Then there again I took another hard decision because I'm in the well established industry I'm working, but I got the offer from the E-plane. Currently, I'm working in E-plane. So that is the startup, small startup. I'm the third employee during that time. So people, my well-wishers said that you are already in the well-established industry and why you are changing your career if startup, because startup is not, if not planned, this is spoil the career. So but I discussed with my founder and I understood that what is the goal we have and how we are going to connect with the others to get the fundraise, everything. Then I took the decision. I quit the job. I joined the E-plane. So now I am traveling in a E-plane almost 5 years. So yeah, actually whatever I had take the hard decision, I didn't bother about that because where I'm standing now, that is it's good for me for that hard decision. So yeah.
Great journey. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. I want to go towards Nikhil. Nikhil, you did your higher education in Germany. I believe you had opportunities to work in Germany, and you came back and got into entrepreneurship. Can you throw some light about your journey of entrepreneurship?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, first of all. And yeah, so basically I did my PhD from Germany, from Munich. And I did it in an industrial, partially industrial funded, partially academic funded project. And it was to do with decarbonization of, the energy cycle. So during that time, of course, I had an opportunity to stay back in Germany, to keep working in the same company, or to transition to another company. But I think the decision for me to come back was influenced by a few years back. So I think when I was almost your position, third year, fourth year students, I had an opportunity to work at IASC as an intern for a few months. And coming from, say, like a BTech background to IASC, I think was a total shift in my perspective. Because in IASC, you were given responsibility to work on real state-of-the-art projects, and the contributions you make is actually the emphasis. There is a lot of emphasis to publish and to apply your research either in industry or in academia. So that gave me kind of a sense of ownership and responsibility to contribute to the state of the art. And then I sort of continued working at IISc for 3 years, where we published papers, patents, etc., on propulsion systems. And to further that, to further my understanding of these systems, I did masters and PhD abroad. But during my time at IISc, we had a very good understanding of how the various organizations, basically ISRO, HAL, NAL, DRDO, all these labs worked with the institute, and how the research that we do get applied into all these organizations. So IAC is kind of unique in that way, I would say. I think he can also vouch for that. So I longed to come back and work in the same sort of environment. And when I did my PhD, since it was like an industrial funded PhD, I got the opportunity also to see how research gets absorbed by the industry itself. So the time to deployment when you directly work in industry, I think it's much faster than when you work in an academic setting. So when I was working, we were working on doing some predictive algorithms for basically analyzing instabilities in certain systems. So that got implemented within, I would say, 2 to 2.5 years on a real working power producing multiple megawatts producing gas turbines. So that level of lack of barrier in execution, I think that really excited me. So my sort of combination of interest in research and this speed of execution. I worked in a sort of mid-sized company in Germany. So I also wanted to sort of build my own, with ideas. So that's what kind of brought me back to entrepreneurship. Yeah, thank you.
In our country, we celebrate a lot of things. Something that you would have seen is, MBA chai wala. Somebody who has done MBA and then got into, tea selling, right? What we don't celebrate is a LLB engineer, right? So somebody who has done law, and I think working in the, in space industry, and you said you also do engineering, simulations, etc. So share us, something about your journey. How did you end up into a space, into a tech? I mean, space is not a simple tech, right? It's a deep tech industry. So from a law graduate to deep tech, what was the journey?
So, hello everyone. I think this is also what I often ponder about. What did I do to really end up here? Because my decisions were not really aligned with being successful in doing anything ever. Um, to give some background, I grew up in a town called Haldia. It's an industrial town near the Bay of Bengal in West Bengal, where typically after you're done with your 10th grade, your options are you either take science. If you don't have enough marks to get through, please take commerce. I wanted to take humanities voluntarily, and I did. So when we ended up sitting in a classroom, the school was actually forced to create a humanities section where only 3 students studied for 2 years. So
Very interesting.
when I started off with the aspiration to actually become a criminal defense attorney, work a lot on criminal profiling, work a lot on, say, the psychological aspects of dealing with human behavior, governance, and whatnot. But while I was doing that, I got a very big advantage for 3 years. I got a wonderful teacher then who actually was the same teacher for 3 subjects: history, political science, and psychology. So when you have that much time and you have one teacher who is not just teaching but mentoring you, I started questioning the why of everything. Today, even in college, I think if you're uncomfortable with raising hands, answer this for yourself. How many of you pick out a few days before the exams that these are the topics that will be asked? This is what would form 60% of the paper. Let me go and insist on getting the important questions out and be done with it. That is what most of us do. I was not allowed to do that in that setup because all my questions came on why. So when I started from there, I actually wanted to go to a law school which allowed me to explore. I wanted to question the why of everything. So I studied in a university where in that one lane, we had engineering, architecture, pharmacy, aviation, everything. And coincidentally, when I joined a few weeks in, the chancellor had this idea that no one should have to drop out of the university to start their own startup. And he believed that we would be really big losers if we could not do anything with so many different mindsets in the same street. So we started off with an initiative, and that's where my learning truly started. In that role, I had to even understand why is someone who is building an AI model asking for a staff of 200 people. How did they get various languages from GCPW, from Azure, from IBM Watson to work together to solve for challenges? How does data work? And while doing all of this, I also had to do my mandatory legal training. So this allowed me by the COVID year to work with those very startups which are supported through the Niti Aayog funded incubator on campus to consult with them to restructure. The challenge? We have enough money, we have enough infrastructure, but we don't have buyers anymore. What do I do with the money that the VC has invested in me? The investor is also worried, the company is also worried, the founders are also worried. And that is where I started engaging extensively with companies in finance, pharma, drone and aviation to see if we can advance their business by doing some preliminary demos and work with the government to get a sandbox. A sandbox is basically your open area that within these boundaries, you can do whatever. I will closely monitor, you can do whatever. So today, when you hear of platforms where you go online and get a 5,000, 10,000 rupees loan, those were all tried out then. And that really required me to understand this to the core. So of course, like everyone else, even I asked myself, what is the best place to be in after my graduation is done? And naturally the answer came where people want to do a lot of things, but there is no law. Because if there's a law, there is a lawyer, that's given. And I ended up in space that way. And from there, fortunately or unfortunately, my first challenge was coordinating spectrum use between different companies, because that is a regulatory subject. You have to do it at an international level. So look at the ill fate. Once I joined Throva Space, within 3 months of that, I had to go find H.C. Verma physics books from 11th and 12th grade to understand what is wave, how does spectrum work, why is this regulation saying that I have to keep this much distance, whether it is possible or not. And that is also where I came across ANSYS, because you have multiple satellites orbiting Earth at all times. You have specific locations where they send signals. Now, what happens if 3 different networks reach the same place? How do you really propagate 800, 900 satellites on the same network at once? So to visualize that is where I had people in my team and a little bit myself deal with ANSYS simulations and go back. So that's been the journey so far.
That's interesting. Very interesting journey. Especially a lot of engineers, when they get into business, right, they don't really think about the legal aspects, the regulatory aspects, and the aspects of dealing with government. And we have somebody with us who actually got an prototyping center done with government funding. Anand, so tell us about your journey, please.
Thanks. I think can you hear me? Thanks. I think the first thing before I start is I see a lot of you all are in your workshop shirts. Is this your workshop uniform? Do you have workshop today? The first time I got caught giving proxy was when I was wearing a workshop uniform in my college at NIT Warangal. So that just reminded me of that. So I did my engineering from Warangal. I always wanted to become a software coder because coding was just very interesting to me. My dad bought the first computer when I was in school and I started writing code then. But I wasn't great at studies, so I gave at that time you had something called AIEEE, so the mouthful. I got into Warangal and my only criteria for engineering was I want to get out of Bombay. I was born and brought up in Bombay. So I wanted to leave home and went to Warangal. I got into civil engineering, but I continued writing code over there. While I was in college, I think the thing I liked the best was surrounding myself with people smarter than I am. And you took the H.C. Verma book. I preferred going to someone who knows H.C. Verma in and out. So then I started seeing that a lot of my friends had a lot of good ideas. And I was really frustrated that they couldn't get it done because NIT Warangal, of course, it's my college. So I am at liberty to not praise it because I'm from there. But NIT Warangal, it's tough to get funding in college for students, unlike private universities and things like that. So through it all, because of those frustrations from college itself, I started raising money for my friends so that they could do these projects on campus. But the real start was I had a few juniors who couldn't pay the fee. So we raised money.
Still at NIT Warangal?
Yeah, this is while at NIT Warangal. I was known as the guy, all the alumni would run away from me because I'd go and ask them for money, first thing. Right? But then, yeah, we had some kids who couldn't pay their fee, our juniors, so we raised some funding for that. That took off very well. I registered a not-for-profit while on campus. At the same time, I got a placement offer from Oracle. I went and worked there. While doing this not-for-profit thing, as things turned out, we got more money than we needed. It was enough to pay my salary as well. So I quit Oracle, did this full time. And that's when I went back to funding or supporting smart students build prototypes on campus. So yeah, we had a few patents come out. One of them built a submersible hovercraft, which is a submarine plus a hovercraft. And yeah, we did a bunch of things then. But then yeah, being on campus, I think things plateaued. I wasn't very happy. Of course, I stepped on a lot of toes because I'm from outside and the campus belongs to the university. That's when I got an offer from the Telangana government. This was about 3.5 years in Oracle and 3.5 years with a not-for-profit. I got an offer from the Telangana government saying that you built a makerspace in Warangal. We want to do something similar in Hyderabad, but at a much bigger scale. So that's when I joined the government to build a facility called T-Works. The premise is, I think in India, we have a lot of smart folks, but like a lot of us, I mean, the folks of you, some of you who've studied abroad, you see the difference in the infrastructure that is provided in India versus abroad, right? And that's another reason why I want to come here, because the infrastructure that has been given to you by your university, by your ANSYS is world class. This is not even available in a lot of places across the world. And that's what we wanted to set up in Hyderabad, a world-class prototyping center, which is a broad horizontal that can support companies building electric vehicles, drones, defense tech, industrial automation, so on and so forth, medical devices, right? So the thing in government is a lot of my time, because I had to sort of make it happen, went in waiting. that's my core competence. I'm very patient. I can sit in a government office for 5 hours, and I think Keyur will agree with me. I can sit in a government office for 5 hours, and in the 6th hour, I'll get my work done, or maybe the 8th hour, or maybe the 8th day. So somehow that worked, and yeah, we set up the facility. But again, my biggest focus was surrounding myself with people smarter than I am, and that's where I really learned a lot more about engineering, a lot more about design, product development. We built and shipped over 50 products, built a 100+ member team. TWorks became the global engineering partner for the Gates Foundation to implement all their tech across the world. One of the users who walked in was a software engineer in about 2021 or so, and he said, "I want to build a satellite." And that's the one thing we never did at TWorks. We never built a satellite. We built everything else. Right from VTOLs to drones to EVs, we built everything. We never built a satellite. So we said, "No problem, come. You don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. We'll do it together." So that's when we launched the first payload in January 2024, and ISRO gives a fantastic platform called POEM, and now Smile for students and startups to test, to take your subsystems to TRL-8. So we launched then. Then we registered the company in June, and now I can talk to you more about why we are building data centers in space. That seems like an out there idea, but it evolved over time. And I think what brought me to TWorks or to take me to space were the people fundamentally more than the idea. If you surround yourself with really smart people and the right people, I think you can make almost any idea work.
Thank you. That's quite interesting. We have another very interesting person in the panel who started as a petroleum engineer, and then now is building electric propulsion system, saying that we shouldn't burn fuels. And in between that, he did the investing part, so which is a key aspect for startups. So Abhijit, why don't you take us through your journey, and also talk a little bit on investing side, because I think that's very, not everybody gets the chance to talk to somebody who, puts money, right? There'll be a lot of people who would have gone and asked for money, but not the other side.
Yeah, no, thanks. Good afternoon, everybody. So I think my journey, my childhood and all was probably influenced a lot by Bollywood and also Destiny. Somebody preached me and like, follow your heart. First of all, when I heard that, I'm like, what a bullshit thing to say. I didn't understand what it means. So then slowly I realized what it meant, I guess. Everybody around me started saying similar things. So, of course, as a childhood, my first drama I did on stage was a poem called Vagabond. And I didn't know much what vagabond means, but now as an entrepreneur, I think everybody relates to that. We're not nomads, we're vagabonds, we're traveling everywhere. So that's how kind of it started. But after I did my 10th, until 10th, I was in a small city called Barshi in Maharashtra, close to Pune area. There, after 12th, I guess you have to pick engineering, and I was just trying to do engineering because that's what you do, either or you become a doctor. Then somebody said, apply for this university, which is really good petrochemical engineering. And I had no idea what that meant, but petrochemical sounded good. Applied for it, had no idea where the university was. Actually, we had to buy a map to see where it is. That's how I ended up in a remote place called Lonere. I finished my petrochemical engineering within 4 years, luckily. But one of the things I did try to do there was become an entrepreneur, I guess. Like Anand was saying, during my second year or third year with my roommates, I started, since it was a remote place, I was trying to come up with an idea how to help students, I guess, co-fellows. And we used to go buy big bags of the chiuda and farsan and make it in small and sell it at night time because everybody was staying up late and we couldn't find anything after 9 o'clock. So I was actually making good money at that time, just selling that. But my roommates got tired of it and we folded that venture quickly. But I think that's where I started my entrepreneurial journey in a way. But after that, I wanted to get out of India. So during my engineering, my focus was how do I apply overseas? And that's how I think I studied the most only for GRE than anything else. So got into, luckily I got the GRE passed and went to, or picked a school again, where I'm like, follow the destiny, follow the destiny. Somebody said apply for Fairbanks. Anybody know where Fairbanks is? The city called Fairbanks? One person, that's great. So Fairbanks is Alaska, which is close to Russia. And of course, I had no idea. But I applied. School was good, petroleum engineering. Got good funding from school. I had to pay actually zero, nothing during engineering masters, so that's how I ended up in being a petroleum engineer, energy industry. Worked in US for almost 20 years, mostly in the energy space. But when I joined Equinor, which is a Norwegian company, there I started picking up different roles, or were given to me in a way, was the business development strategy, as well as onshore businesses, and then I ended up becoming a corporate venture also for almost 6-7 years. So sitting in Houston, I was I was investing in startups, mostly in the US that were early stage, and I followed the theme, which was believe in destiny, follow your heart. So kind of went by gut feeling most of the time, the startups I picked to invest in. Check sizes were normally around $2 to $5 million, and used to screen almost 300 startups a year, but ended up investing only 1 or 2 through the corporates. But every investment, like I said, I made or took it to the IC where by gut feeling, not because of something I see that this is going to happen, but the team was really good. I could connect with the co-founders. Idea, of course, the product market fit was usually there, but then there's always something that sparks within the team or idea, and it gives you that gut feeling, right? That this is something really I should be associated with. That's also how I ended up marrying my wife. She was from Thailand. When I first time met her, gave the sparks, fell in love, and married. But I'll keep the journey of risk and struggle part outside. I don't believe in those words, because we will do what we're supposed to do. So forget about struggle and risk. And then after investing in multiple startups, unfortunately my wife was diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 cancer in 2019. That kind of relates to what I'm doing right now too. So she unfortunately passed away in 2021. But during that COVID time, my co-founder from Sirinor now, Pramod, who's aerospace engineer, he found me on LinkedIn. I was in US. He reached out to me. He was in his 3rd year engineering degree, working on this supersonic jet engine, which is emissions-free idea. He pitched to me. I was sitting in my garage in the car, I guess, when I first talked to them. So I relate to the garage startups in that way. But I liked it right away. I had not met him. I had no idea who Pramod was. I have zero background in propulsion system. I didn't even know what engine really looked like or what it was at that time. But there was that feeling that this is something, I want to do it. And the timing was good because during my wife's cancer treatment, we were not able to travel. And we love traveling. But coming to India and Thailand from US was not recommended by doctors. So as soon as I heard the supersonic part, I'm like, man, I can go to India and come back within a day or 2. So that kind of clicked me. Again, went by that feeling and ended up signing up. And we named the company Sirinor. Siri was my wife's name, and then Nor for Norway. So that's how Sirinor came along. So again, goes back to that when I said bullshit of follow your heart and destiny, but I'm here now actually doing exactly that. So 4 years now into the company, we have we have made significant progress, I guess, from conceptual design all the way to TRL6. We'll be the first, we are calling world's first electric jet engine. So nobody in the world is doing it. So we're proud of that statement at least. But of course, you have to execute it now. So that's a big challenge. So that's my journey. I'm here today because I felt like I'm supposed to be here. Santosh knows I was supposed to go to US, but a couple of days ago they called me and said, can you come here? And I said, okay. Something is there about Tamil Nadu, I think. This is my 3rd trip in last 4 weeks. Went to Vellore, went to, of course, Trichy today, and then Tiruvannamalai. So, yeah.
Great. Thanks for that journey. I want to go to Murli. You mentioned you wanted to become a professor. That's one similarity I have with you. I also wanted to become a professor. My dad was a university professor. I always dreamt about becoming a professor and became a sales guy like you. So tell us about your journey. How did you end up in sales and leading ANSYS India, sales operations?
Yeah, everybody has a story, but after listening to the great stories, I just find that mine is not very inspirational, so I'll not waste anybody's time. And also, I was just looking around and then looking at, so I seems to be the oldest person in this room, which is not a good feeling. So mine is out of classics, but it didn't start being a professor. No, thanks for that. So my story is exactly opposite to ma'am's story. She wanted to be a bangle seller and became a scientist. So professor thing came later. I wanted to become a missile scientist because when I was doing my 8th or 9th standard, that was the time Dr. Kalam, I saw an article in a newspaper about Prithvi having a range of 250 kilometers. It was still not launched. I just saw that and I said, missile seems to be, so I wanted to become a scientist. Although I didn't become a the bangles reseller, seller, I became a sales guy. So it just happened, like, I don't say calling, but I think I was more adept at building relationships. And that's how I got into sales. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. When we think about, we hear a lot of stories about startups, people coming up with ideas. But if you go to investors, if you, speak to people who have started companies, right? It's not about ideas. It's about, execution of those ideas. And the first step is basically validating the idea and seeing, if there is a real market fit. And once you identify that, then you go towards the execution of that. So, I also had this, experience of, validating the ideas. I must say, I'm a entrepreneur. One thing that I learned is if you are thinking about an idea, there are 10 people that are thinking about a similar idea at the same point in time. And it's very important to, make that idea concrete and fit it to a problem statement that exists in the market. So how do we do that? Nikhil, can you throw some light on how do you go about identification of the problem and validation of that problem and the fitment to the market?
Sure, thank you. So maybe I will refer to what probably we did. I would say we are still in the execution phase. It's not deployed in the market yet, but I can sort of briefly run through that journey.
Right.
So I think as I referred previously, I have a sort of research background, and my co-founder, he also has a research background. So from a technical perspective, we kind of understood where this will fit. Like what we are doing is basically to refuel satellites in space. So if you think about satellites, when satellites have different functionalities, and once you launch a satellite from Earth, it has a set amount of fuel. So people, when you talk to other people about satellites, they think the solar panels power the satellites through its entire life. It's generally not true. So satellites have liquid fuel, which will power the satellites for doing corrections for movement of satellites in orbit. Imagine a car you have a car has a battery for its electronics and other components, but it has fuel to run the car. You can apply the same analogy for satellites. So satellites, it has a fixed amount of fuel, and after fuel runs out, it basically is junk. So we knew that there was a way to sort of put more fuel into the satellite, extend its life, and we knew that the technological problem can be solved. So we worked on that aspect. We worked on the refueling or the fuel transfer technology in IISc. And then we patented it and brought it to market. But once we brought it to market, there were totally numerous other questions that we had to handle. I think one of the first questions that we had to handle is, okay, you're trying to extend satellite life, but there are other things that can go wrong with the satellite. How do you deal with that? Then if you want to go near another satellite, so there are multiple challenges with regards to, say, legal and regulatory aspects, which Keyur can also vouch for. Like going near another satellite, it's a totally taboo subject. How do you deal with it? There is no policy or there is no previous reference to what we are doing. We are, I would say, the second company on earth who have taken this as a problem statement to work on. There's one other company in the US who have, I would say, slightly more mature than us. So we have no reference to talk about. And so basically we are going into totally uncharted territory. So what we then thought of building was to start with, say, making the building blocks. So start with the fuel transfer system itself, and then scale it up to the satellite level. You try to do missions or try to do technology demonstrations of your own. Try to pitch this to investors saying this is a technology that will definitely change. Because if you imagine the landscape of satellite launches and the deployment of satellites, in the next 10 years, the number of satellites is going to grow by multiple times, by factors. If satellites don't have a way to sort of replenish themselves or to refuel themselves, then all these satellites become dead, right? And they are expected to cause this issue called, say, a Kepler syndrome, which is basically satellites colliding with each other and making space or satellite launch totally inhabitable. So this technology is going to come. It's a matter of when and not if. And so we took that bet and we said, okay, it's a matter of when. So we'll be able to solve it. We'll also solve all the other regulatory and the intergovernmental aspects, the technological aspects, and everything. So this is our journey. And in that journey, I would say we are expected to launch our first satellite in October, November, where we show the capabilities of our fuel transfer system. And we are also planning to launch another, satellite in, I would say, a year and a half, where we show how two satellites can come close to each other and perform some operations. So once we start doing these validations, all these other aspects, when they see the positive use cases, all these other aspects we believe can be solved.
Place, yeah.
Yes. So that's the journey, I would say.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. Sir, I want to come to you. Like he explained, I mean, it's a very unique problem that they identified, and they're trying to solve it. And I'm very sure at SASTRA, at this university, there'll be a lot of students who would be coming up with innovative ideas, and I believe they would come to the faculty, they would come to you. How is SASTRA, supporting the students in ideation and validation of those ideas? What SASTRA doing?
First of all, thank you very much for having me in this panel. Before I answer the question, when Mr. Murli told that I should be a part of this panel, I was in fact thinking, as the only academician who doing the chalk and talk in the classroom, sitting with people who work on design, prototypes, and products. There's a big challenge and expectations from the industry versus what the academia is delivering. I think that's what Dr. Srinivas also mentioned, the big gap between the academia and the industry. What we have done in terms of the curricular alignment is to see how close we can bring the classrooms to the boardrooms. Not just, I wouldn't say, it would be ideal to be on the same page, but at least how do we align what we do here with what the boardroom expectations are. And that's what within Shastra we've been driving a lot of our interventions, right from teaching to startup ideas. So and just as any academic institution, the student community is very, very heterogeneous. Normally we can segregate them in 4 baskets. One is very passionate, about certain thing and they've been able to reach it, so they continue to be passionate. The other, accepts what's there and then they start passionately working on it. Third is a normal student, 8:45, do your regular academic duties, you get your grades, you get your regular placements. Fourth doesn't bother about anything. And fifth is this overarching students who have bigger aspirations. Just as any academic institution, that population is very, very limited. But then being in an academic setup, you need to cater to those students as well. So within the campus, we have 3 separate business incubators across diverse areas. Additive manufacturing, IoT, healthcare, diagnostics, therapeutics, drones, AR, VR, some of these exponential technologies that a lot of these industries are now talking about. We engage with students to work on these, using these facilities, on the ideas that they have. We support them financially also for them to come up with the idea to see if there are workable solutions or design solutions that they're able to come up with. And once we feel that there is a certain amount of TRL, 2 or 3 that they've reached, then we support them financially up to 10 lakhs to take it to the prototype level. And then if they're able to achieve that, then we give them through the Startup India Seed Fund, giving them higher funding. And in some cases, the institution itself was also invested in certain startup companies where we see there is a lot of promise that comes out in the area or the sector that the startup is working. And this we've been doing for the last 15 years. Even before the startup boom within India started, trying to nurture ideas. We started in a very small way, calling it the Student Innovation Fund. So the student group would get about 2 lakhs, I'm talking about 10 years ago, to try their idea. They will have a faculty mentor to mentor them. Within a year, they will have to reach those timelines. Similar to this, there are a lot of other interventions that the other institutions also do. And often we see that students at the beginning, they come up with a lot of ideas, buzzing with a lot of energy. And somehow this team loses out as they move along. I think to be an entrepreneur requires a lot of energy, a lot of grit, a lot of courage to face failure. Girish Mathrubootham, so the former CEO of Freshworks, is an alumni of Shastra. He said, I would always hire a failed entrepreneur rather than a normal regular student with excellent grades. An entrepreneur is learned 360 degrees, right? How do you build your team? What is your goal? What are your plan to achieve your goals? How are you going to set up your teams? How are you going to bring in money? How are you going to convince people to give you money? And how you spend? How do you have your, make financial sensibility in terms of your funding and all those things? And he says, it's true that it's a 360-degree job that he does. You might graduate with an engineer or a lawyer or a petrochemical engineer, it doesn't matter. But then if you call yourself an entrepreneur, then you have sort of, wetted your feet in multiple areas. And to be successful, it means you have covered all these areas with great success. So it's always with deep respect. We look at entrepreneurs irrespective of their age, the kind of commitment that they have, the kind of, promises that they give to make a self-reliant India.
Great. Thank you. We are running behind schedule. I'm told to conclude in another 10 minutes, but there are few questions. I had a lot of questions that I had thought about, but few things that I really want to ask, a couple of them. And my request is to give your response in crisp, like one to 2 minutes. One of the important aspects of starting up is getting a core team and, scaling it up. Right. So, Anand, can you throw some light about it? You have supported many startups. So,
Sure. I'll give you the context of where we are today, right, on campus. I think what Sir said is very relevant. Whatever avenues are there to work together as a team, I think that's where it starts. That's where you learn to work with each other. I don't think it's about finding the right person more than finding that skill in yourself to be able to work with anyone else. I think that is cultivated on campus. That's what even I learned when I was on campus. Because a good team is always a diverse team. They are not always going to agree with you. And to be able to manage those disagreements and still move ahead, knowing that the intent of the other person is right. I think that is one of the key things that we learn at this age when we are on campus. And that we take forward, whether we work with the same people or different people. I think that is a core skill set that we take forward.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Being technology ready is another key aspect and expertise that is needed. Making basically your prototype work, and for that you need the technology skills, right? How do you go about doing that? Mukundan, can you share some insights?
Yeah, thanks. So, so the challenge we are facing is that we need to, that general view is there. So always India's are developing countries always begin the Western countries. So actually that's what we are trying to change in from the E-plane. And I want to just touch about Professor Satya, who is the founder of this company. And also he involved in a lot of another companies that and all almost close to the Western countries, Hyperloop. And almost people are here. They are also the closely the Western country, what they are trying to do that. So we need to always think about nowadays that future perspective. So that we need to bring into that academic itself. So that's what. So I'm just bringing the content to industry to academic. So if we are developing the academic course according to that, not the current industry requirement, we need to also think about what in the future. So already now we are developing the robotics and other IoTs and AML algorithm. So since we are lacking when it comes to the industry, for example, if I'm from the aerospace industry background, so when we are developing our own flight control law, in India, we don't have that much people around flight controls law. So especially only that NAL team has the dedicated team and ADA team only has. So if you go to for a private sector, there won't be any flight controls law development. So I want to encourage the team and has to, that not required from the aerospace background. Knowledge is required, but that is purely from the what do you say, the engineering perspective, computer science, electronics background, that knowledge is fine. So we need to bring that product perspective. So lab already there, but the whatever ANSYS team is providing the software. So now they are the platform, whatever they are learning from the academic, they can implement in the software. What is the outcome from the software? Just whatever you are giving input from the software and it will throw the output. But we as an engineer, we need to know that what is the outcome. We need to understand the result, how it is going to affect. So that feel is there. Because ANSYS team put, I know ANSYS for the past 20-25 years. So ANSYS team put a lot of effort, engineers to develop the each and every software. That is easily we are getting and utilizing the software and getting the output. So that we need to understand that input and output to feel of that output. So that I think this platform will help. And this is what I'm trying to say, that the utilizing and thinking about the future technology, and according to that we have to think academic course and lab and facility everything. So one thing I touch upon control, I think ANSYS SDK tool and SCADE that we are trying to explore. So that is giving a lot of time we can reduce, because we need to running in the Western countries. Yeah. So that is one of the point I want to highlight about ANSYS here.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for bringing it up. Keyur, from your perspective, I mean, you said you went back to high school physics and started, learning. So how important these methods, tools in the development of a product. I mean, virtual development methodologies. How has it helped Dhruva? Can you share few thoughts?
Sure, absolutely. I think, like I was saying earlier, my curiosity always was finding out the why. And as a company, of course, we build satellites, we help launch them, and we help operate them. The idea is to ease access to space, reducing complexity. Now, you can't reduce complexity of anything for anyone without understanding the why. And when we understand the why, we need to work on various solutions. It can be right from the level of making a very small change to a hinge, right up to a fundamental change to changing the structure of the whole satellite inside and seeing how it fares. Now, when we have tools like these at disposal, what it does is, like I would echo what was said in the guest session, that these are tools which help us validate our hypothesis faster. They help us understand in more detail what could be a probable outcome, and maybe out of 50 or 60 approaches that we decide to take, we can narrow down on 5. And that is where we focus on actually prototyping, and in the space language, building engineering and qualification models is what I would say. And that, if you see, in the end, is truly what empowers us to innovate on building these products and space systems, which are truly helping us advance in many different domains. I think Ops Sindoor is just one example that we've spoken of today. Yeah. But one of the other examples that I would also like to highlight for everyone to understand about aerospace and defense technologies is the use in other domains. I am currently reviewing a book which only talks about use of space technology for sustainable development, the kind of urban planning, the kind of access to clean water. So there is a lot of downstream impact to that, is what I wanted to highlight.
That's interesting. Mrudula ma'am, you work in an environment which is very, restricted, very confined. You are one of the government labs. You have to work in a very restricted environment. Sharing information is difficult. Getting things done by, companies like us needs a lot of, information sharing. How do you tackle those challenges, in a government research lab?
The thing is, like, anyway, NAL, as you told, it's a government lab. We have multidisciplinary different divisions itself. Yeah. So one is like giving the information across the labs in NAL itself. Another one is sharing information with others. So usually sharing information we do with the NDA. Yeah. So what we do is we will try maximum to develop the technologies in-house. Right. And NAL as such, we develop something, and after that we do a TOT or something, and we give that one to some companies. Yeah. And when we do the TOT, we have certain agreements which we will be following. And we will set up with the new, we will work on new problem. So whenever we do with an agreement, there are certain closures in which we will be able to give the knowledge or maybe handle some data to them. Otherwise, when we are working in a software company like we don't share the exact model. Suppose we are giving a CAD model, we don't share the CAD model as it is. We will give a hypothetical model and work on that one. After that only we will work in-house with the actual model. So the actual designs we don't disclose to others whenever it is not under an NDA. Right. If it is an NDA, we give the data to the other partners with the NDA. So it is like, because of the, and there will be like different kinds of NDA. One is like, they will be like some software companies comes to NAL and they sit in NAL and work. So in that case, we don't share anything to them. They work with us in NAL till the project is over. So that is another kind of partnership which we do.
Basically, there's a lot of scope for partnership, though. Yes. You are a government research organizations, and you would also partner with academic institutes,
yes,
right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Thank you. Murali, I'm coming to you. A specific question around this MOU. What is your vision for this MOU, and how do you, how do you see this shaping in 3 years from now? Another attached question is: this is a big investment from ANSYS. So, getting that management buy-in from ANSYS to do this kind of, investment. You mentioned $1.2 million worth of software. So, how did you go about doing that?
Yeah, I'll answer the second part. The first two questions my management asked: why SASTRA? Why not NITs and IITs? That was a question that I found difficult to convince them. Second thing, the question that they ask is why focus on space and defense? Because people in headquarters, they still feel that India is not up there in terms of technology. So these were two difficult questions. And there was also one third, which is very important. It's only academic, but I just want to bring that aspect of importance. So in the technologies that we are giving to SASTRA, there is one technology that's export control. Half of the countries in the world are not allowed to use this software because the software is originating from US. Half the countries in the world are banned, on the banned list, and that software is going to land in SASTRA. And many of the people here, they vouch with that software. They want to. I still remember Anand trying to, like he mentioned about the government, that he has a lot of patience. He invested a lot of time to convince me to give him the software free of cost. He's still not been successful. So these three things were very, very important. And it became simple as I interacted with SASTRA more and more. And I got more and more data in terms of why SASTRA. So the thing that I went back, and please keep this in mind, for me the audience is, I started with the Dr. Swaminathan idea is how can I help the students, but now it became how can I help industry, how can I help India as a country, right? So it started with you as an idea. And a very important point is, if we have to grow as an economy, it's not the people from IITs, which is then considered as a niche institutes. We need to democratize it. This is the place that is, universities like SASTRA is a place of action. You are one of the best universities in India, other than IITs and NITs. And that you can see why we were actually planning to get just 2 industry leaders for this event. And I had to stop asking for people to participate after I got 8. And then I said, okay, 8, let's go ahead. I think some people will drop at the last minute. And today morning, I was surprised that every one of them who confirmed reached SASTRA campus, which is not quite convenient location, right? So these were the questions that my management asked. And I was able to convince that if we have to grow, ANSYS has to grow, the industry needs people, skilled people. If industry needs skilled people, this is a place where we need to invest in terms of technology. ANSYS can make great software. If it is not used, it's worthless, right? So this is the place I'm looking. So this is point 1. Number 2, and this is also one of the aspects that I really want to request the industry. Although my job is done, the moment I signed, I'm out of this, right? So this is up to the Dr. Swaminathan sir. But my ask to the industry is, and how it will be successful is, there are 3 important players in this. One is students yourself. If you're not going to come out with your passion to do something in this domain has very carefully been chosen by your management. And I truly believe, I'm very passionate with this. And I spent my team, and I really have to congratulate my team. For 15 days, they worked like you studied the last few days of the exam. So we had these last 10 days, literally studying hard, making this happen. You please have to come out and use this. Otherwise, this software will be installed in one of your supercomputers, will be lying just in a corner, right? SASTRA is investing for the industry folks. They're investing a huge core of licenses. The server that I have not even seen in the largest automotive companies. There's a power of computing here, the power of people here. My ask to the students is to come with the ideas. My ask to the industry is, if you can spare a thought and see if you can give some research projects to these students, either on a stipend or not a stipend. That I leave it to Sastra and you. But Dr. Swaminathan sir has told me verbally that they will do everything possible to make your investment, your time that you're going to spend with these students for the future will be well rewarded in terms of, and ANSYS is committed to this. So my ask is industry to have a little bit openness. I know Anand, you already said I'll go ahead and I'll see what I can do. So I've officially told, no, you can't go back on your statement. So I've already, there are a couple of more startups who wanted to be here. They have committed a few projects for the students of SASTRA. And the moment you do the project, you will be absorbed in those companies because they'll be, if you do the project, they'll be successful, right? So my ask is this, students to come forward. ANSYS has already come forward. The management of SASTRA has come forward. My request to you all is to please see if you can just, it need not be very critical projects, but just make them go through this. And last point, I think even I am hungry now. So the last point I want to actually make is how this MOU is for 1 year. And trust me, 1 year is a very small time for this kind of technologies. I will extend this MOU to SASTRA for more years if I see active participation for the students. If there is no outcome, we will not extend this MOU. So you can take this as a warning. You can take this as an opportunity that is maybe lost. Trust me, this technology, as I said, standing here, this list of technologies that are being given to SASTRA is not there with MIT, USA. I mean, I'm very proudly saying this. So please use this. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I think we have overshoot the time. One quick round. If each one of you will say one phrase or one word as a last, bit of advice to the students. Not long sentences, just one word, one phrase. Anything that you want to say, tell to the students. Each one of you.
So my statement is, whatever you are learning, you feel that. Without feeling, you can't bring it in the implementation.
Thank you.
One thing I would like to tell is like you just see the global and Indian scenario and find out the gap and work towards that one. So that will be the best thing which you will do. And all the softwares will help you to do that simulation.
Thank you. Anand?
I think this environment gives you a safe space. Fail as many times as you can. Not in academics, but
excellent.
But it gives you the opportunity to fail as many times because sir is there, the industry is there, we are there to support you. But failure is the best teacher. No offense to any of the other faculty.
Thank you.
These are your years to explore. Explore as much as you can and clearly know the difference between I know and I understand.
Great. Thank you.
Take this opportunity to try anything. It could be totally not related to your background or what you're studying. You're in a cocoon in your undergraduate studies and your masters and PhDs. So try everything that comes your way, and whatever comes will come. Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'll say the same things. Keep an open mind. Don't take yourself seriously, but take your work seriously. And for Sirinor, this is influence from Pushpa. We're not saying jukega sala, but udega sala. The engine will udega.
Great.
I won't give advice again. I'll come back to the same point. Please dream big. And when you want to dream big and you want to execute it, you need support. I think the support is there. So it's not about CFD, thermal, aerodynamics, max speed 3.8 and all. It's about a video game, and that's what we showed. The war gaming, it's as easy. It's actually, simulation will actually make, it will make a video game of your dreams that you can realize. So that's the best thing I want to say is, please dream big. We are there to support you. and make this successful. I'm depending on the students here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your hard work and passion in your work will definitely make you successful.
Thanks a lot. Thanks to all the panelists, and thanks for all the students and faculty for patiently listening. Thank you. With that, we conclude the panel. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. As a token of appreciation, I'd like to, I request our Swaminathan sir, Dean Planning and Development, to hand over. Madam Mrudula, Madam, from Senior Principal Scientist in National Aerospace Laboratory. Sir Mukundan Dakshinamurthy, founding member, UBFly and the E-Plane Company. Mukundan. Thank you very much, Mukundan. Mr. Anand Rajagopalan, Executive Vice President, Take Me to Space. Mr. K.U. Gandhi, Director, Dhruva Space. Mr. Nikhil Balasubramaniam, Co-Founder, Orbit ID Aerospace Private Limited. Mr. Abhijit, Co-Founder and India CEO, Srinar. Also, I would like to present to the ANSYS team, Mr. Murali, Regional Sales Director, ANSYS. Mr. Samira, Regional Sales Manager, ANSYS. Mr. Amit Singhal, please join us, Senior Sales Manager, ANSYS. Ms. Sunita Maitre, Senior Field Marketing Specialist, ANSYS. Mr. Rahul Rajendran, Sales Manager, ANSYS. Mr. Atul, Head A&D, ANSYS. I would like to invite Mr. Santosh from CADAM, so please join us. Please. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Okay. So I would like to conclude this session by telling my vote of thanks. I am not taking a very strong list or something. We would like to thank our Chancellor, Vice Chancellor and Dean Planning and Development for all this motivation and the visionary leadership and unwavering support. And they have been the backbone for all these initiatives, starting from the curriculum development, laboratory development, research laboratory development, and industry, academia collaboration, startups, innovation, and all those. Thank you very much, sir, for all your support. I would like to thank Mr. Murali, Regional Sales Director, ANSYS, for clearly articulating the vision behind this collaboration. And he was continuously discussing with our team to make this MOU possible and defining the goals for this particular Center of Excellence in a very nice way. And I assure you, sir, you will extend the second year grant also to our Center of Excellence. Yes, sir, 10 years. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And I thank the distinguished panelists who took time from their demanding schedules to join us and share their valuable perspectives during this panel discussion. And I am sure all my colleagues, colleague professors and the students are motivated by this panel discussion. Thank you very much, one and all. I would like to again thank our Dean, Professor S. Pugalendi, Dean Sponsored Research, Professor John Bosco, and my colleagues, Dr. Rajesh Sridas, Dr. V.M. Srigari, and all other colleagues of School of Mechanical Engineering, School of Electrical Engineering, School of Chemical Engineering and Biotechnology, and all for their support to make this particular MOU possible and this program in a very nice way. In this particular conclusion, I would like to thank all my students here, the students from aerospace engineering, digital manufacturing, mechanical engineering, and electronics. Thank you very much, one and all here. And they were keep on asking us whether what are all the modules we have in the ANSYS COE and how we can explore and all those things. So we will do wonders and we will prove that we are capable. And already I would like to say one more thing to the director ANSYS. Actually, in SASTRA, we have more than 30 plus faculty members who are working in ANSYS. More than 100 PhD students, they are working in ANSYS. So, and again, all the faculty members are working for more than 20 years in ANSYS. So, this is just the information. And as I told, SASTRA has a lot of research projects, research collaborations, and we will also take this Center of Excellence to a greater height. And as Sir said, we will prove that and we will extend for more 10, 20, 30 years and all. Thank you very much, one and all, for joining today. Good day. So let us please stand for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नागे जाहे तब शुभ आशीष माहे जाहे तब जय दाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता